Today, Anthropic released their latest version of Claude, Claude 3, and a family of 3 different models, which I'll explain shortly. So I want to do 3 things. One is, let me introduce you just a little bit to it so you get a little bit of awareness on what it is, what to expect. 2, I'm going to show you a bit of a hack that you can try it for free. If you want to kick the tires, if you're curious about that and want to see it yourself, I'll show you how to do so. And 3, I'll spend a little bit of time kicking the tires myself, and we'll compare a few of these big main models. So there's a few big models out there right now. The 3 big players, I would say, in the paid space are the ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. You have some open source ones. There's a few other options that are out there. And of course, Microsoft has also some, but they're using the same GPT-4, GPT-3.5 that you'd see with ChatGPT. So it's kind of the same family. So today it's been announced. It's March 4th, 2024. And let me skim right down to here. According to Claude, in all the categories that they report, they beat the other players in every single one. So they have 3 models. I'll explain those shortly. But comparing against GPT-4 and also Gemini 1 Ultra, they beat them on every single category according to them. So we'll try and whether those are the metrics that make sense for our day-to-day or not. So there's 3 main models that are released. You can see here Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku. So Opus is the real powerful one. It costs quite a small fortune to use, but it is the best of the best, and it's the one that stands up against GPT-4, according to them. Claude 3 Sonnet is the one that you can use for free. And briefly anyways, it doesn't take too long before you use up your free usage, but you can use it for free. And then Haiku is coming later on, and it's very affordable and very fast, apparently. And so that's also coming later on. But these 2 here, Opus and Sonnet, are available as of today. And you can see here in terms, they kind of have the cost intelligence breakdown here, which a few of the LLM providers are having kind of similar thing where they'll have a few models in their family. And so they claim a few things: very fast, strong vision capability, so vision is included with that. Interesting, there's a bit of a crisscross. The other 2 here do better in some ways. And we have a tie with Gemini 1 Ultra on a few. And better in terms of how many refusals they do, improved accuracy from prior generations. What Claude is also known for, by the way, is extremely long context windows. So you can drop in here 20K. And then if you want to even exceed 1 million tokens, you can actually reach out to them and they can support that too. Some interesting things like needle in the haystack. When you have real large context windows like that, it's easier to miss important things. And so their tests are very, very high according to them, which I have no reason to doubt. I'm not suggesting that it's not accurate. I just only have them as a reference at this point. And they do have a big focus on the responsible design, ethical, making sure, the bias and everything else that they're checking. So whether that's good or bad, they have a big focus on that, easier to use. And then the model details, let me start from the bottom up. It's kind of interesting. The cost at Haiku, if you're using the API, is down to 25 cents per million tokens on your input and $1.25 on the output. If you go up to the Sonnet, it's actually 12 times more expensive for that middle one. And then going from Sonnet up into Opus, it's 3 times more expensive than that. So very expensive compared to the LLMs up in this ballpark. The other ones are now more in line with what you would see. So those 2 of those are available today, and the rest we should see soon. And they actually claim here too, it's nowhere near the end of the capability. So things are just getting better and better and better. And so let's take a look. Let me show you how you can kind of cheat it a little bit and get access to it today. And so if you go into Claude.ai, and this is what you get for free. And right now you can see Sonnet is given to us, so that's of the 3 models, that's the middle one, is given free of charge for you can use it. You just have to sign up for a free account and you can use it, but maybe a dozen or a couple dozen requests and it will use up and you need a few hour wait until you can do it again. So it's pretty limited, but if you want to try it, go ahead and give it a try and you'll have some usage that you're able to use there. Now, if we want to go up to Opus, let's go in. We can subscribe to Pro, and it's $20 a month, which maybe not. I will do that at some point, but I'm not today. I want to try this out and see if we can do something a little bit different. So what you can do is go to the API console, And again, as you have to sign in first. And what I had prompted here is they gave $5 to try out, which is great. And even if they don't have that always available, maybe at a different time you don't get the $5, just pay $5 yourself. It's a lot less than the $20 a month if you want to try it for a bit. And you'll get dozens and dozens of requests, depends on if you're Opus or Sonnet or what you're doing there. But let's start prompting. Now understand, I did leave some leftover from before, that's okay. It's working on the workbench, and so to be fair, this is more of a developer's perspective to try it out, and it doesn't maintain the conversation yourself. You would have to do that. So, and also there's a few things that potentially the chat aspect does that overlays on top of the raw language model itself. So maybe I'm missing a couple things that they have that I don't have otherwise. But I did test until I ran out on the free version, and it was kind of similar in this way. So here's the models you can see. And so you have the prior versions, but we now have Sonnet and Opus are available to us to try out today. So let me put in this tab, it's my third one over, is Sonnet. Let's duplicate that. And let's go ahead and do Opus. So I have the two of these beside each other. And for comparison, let's do our other big players. We have ChatGPT 4, which I have a paid membership for that. We have Gemini. I don't have a paid membership for Gemini Pro, which would get us Ultra. And so this is just their middle model there. And then also, just in case, because to be fair to Gemini, because we're not paying for the better one, we can use GPT 3.5 and compare it to Gemini here. Those would be kind of on par with each other. So in fact, if we kind of recap, if we have Opus, these three in the middle kind of claim to be at that level 4, that GPT 4 class. And these two on the outside are the 3.5 class. So we'll see how they do. I have just a few questions. Let's give it a try. And this is not scientific. I haven't done a lot of work on creating some good use cases. I do just a lot of stuff day to day that varies quite a bit. But I did put a few things in place here to try. So let's give it a try. I did find if I don't have a system prompt, let's see, unless that was just a random one, because I did have some misses. Yeah, okay. I get without the system prompt one time it didn't answer it, but I guess that was just a one-off miss, so I can leave that empty. So the user prompt, add 5 to each, I didn't mean to have that one there, to each of the numbers from 1 to 7. So let's do a couple things. Let's do a little bit of math that it has to process that, and then give us rhyming words for each. And you can see it's already answered it, and it was actually pretty fast. So here are the number from 1 to 7. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It did a good job. 6, mix, fix, sticks. 7, 8, 9, fine, wine. 10, hen, pen, when. 7, or 11 is 7, 11, heaven. That's good. And then, yeah, so we actually see the crisscross there between 7 and 11 rhyme with each other. Delve, shelve, and elf. So, yeah, it did a good job. And this is the middle line. Oh, no, sorry, this is Opus. This is our strong one. Okay, let's ask that same question over here in Sonnet. And I don't know if that matters one way or the other, so I'll remove the system prompt. And this one's even faster. Notice the speed. But interesting enough, Sonnet gave us a single answer to each. So we have 6, heaven, gate, vine, hen, leaven, and delve. So it did a good job. If we're curious, let's see how ChatGPT does. And a little bit of a delay for its beginning of response. Interesting, they're wanting to do this through Python, through the code analyzer. So it's going to be more trustworthy. Takes a little bit longer to do. It gives us one result only also. And then now it's summarizing it for us. So 12 shelf, 11 den. I don't like that. 10 is hen, 9 is wine, gate, 7. So something went a little bit wrong on that 11th one. So it's hit or miss. I did run through this before and it did fine. So I think each of these could have some good results and some bad results, as you'll see with generative AI. Oh, this is impressive. So here's Gemini, the free version. Gave us a real beautiful table and really quick response. Let me try something else here to give me more results for each. Let's just try that. And the speed is very impressive. Or what? That, yeah, there you go. Good. 12 is a tricky one, or 11, I think. Yeah, see this, it's messed up here. 11, cliff, stiff, whiff, skiff, stiff. I don't know what it thought would rhyme with that. 10, dime climb. So this is good. 9, dine, fine. 12, dove, shove, above. Above is good. Glove, but dove. 12, 12, dove. 12, above. No, I don't know. Those, so yeah, it was very fast, but not the best response. And let's just try this here. Again, give me 5 numbers. So this is GPT 3.5, which is going to be faster. And 8, date. No, date and delve might be a bit stretched in terms of rhyming. Okay, so it gave us a little bit of disclaimer on some of these. 12, delve, 11, mix in. I don't know. But okay, interesting to see. So anyways, if we're trying to compare Claude, I better go and review these. So both of these were a good response, but we have a single one here in Sonnet, and we have multiple here. By the way, this is the default temperature of 0, which means as accurate as possible rather than as creative as possible. And possibly their chat side of things might tweak it and not use a 0. So from a developer perspective and a user perspective, I may not be fully representing them well. And so we'll find as we get, I'm sure a lot of people will be putting out some reviews soon. If you're curious, we'll watch for some other people's feedback here. But let's try another one. This is interesting because it gives a few, this is follow instructions. Let's see how it does. Please give me some cooking tips using the following rules. So complete each one at a time. Before each step, describe the step we're working on. I find that's nice because it should nudge it a little bit better to make sure it always does all 3 steps. And so generate a list of 5 items in the kitchen. Confirm there aren't duplicates. And then for each, create a cooking tip. Give it a title and provide the tip for each one. So let's watch speed too. Again, we're in Sonnet, the middle one there. Run. And very honorable speed. Not lightning fast, but not bad at all. And so it gives us 5 things. So knife, cutting board, oven, spatula, oven. So knife, cutting board, oven, spatula. Oh, pot sizing. Oh, interesting. This is fun. Look at the oven and oven. There is a duplicate. And I wasn't expecting that to happen. Confirm there aren't any. If there are, replace with a non. There is a duplicate. Fun. So let's replace it with pot. And so it did a very good job of following those instructions. Good for it. Funny that it came with a duplicate in the first place. But knife safety, always use a sharp knife when cutting because a dull knife can slip easier. Cutting board maintenance, oven temperature accuracy, invest in an oven thermometer, great. Spatula versatility is use it for flipping stir. Okay, I don't know if that's a tip. Look for a heat resistant. There's a tip in there. Pot size. Okay, so we got some. Let's try over here, and let's see how Opus does. So following instructions and stepping through. So step 1, give us a 5. It's a bit slower, you can see, a little bit more of a weight. Spatula, cutting board, knife, chef's knife, measuring cup, and whisk. And no duplicates, good. And we can see flipping made easy tip. When flipping delicate items like fish, oh yeah, I could use that. Use a thin, flexible spatula to ensure, I could have guessed that, but neat. Cutting board, they have that too. And sharpen too. Yeah, they would like to mention about sharpening, measuring tips, dry ingredients, use the back of a knife to level off. And yeah, so good things there. And let's quickly check these other ones too. So ChatGPT, and I'll let it run in the background. We don't necessarily need to watch performance, although I'm kind of curious here because it's so fast usually. Nah, comparable. So sometimes it's faster than other times. And then now GPT 3.5. So here we see our 5, no duplicates, so it can move on. So all of them are following the instructions very well. For each item, create a tip. And so we see the title and the tip. So yeah, they format it different. They're all subjective or different ways that they do that. And sharp knife is a common one. So knife, cutting board, skillet, knife, cutting board, skillet. So they do put it in order. Things are working well. This is interesting, by the way. Take a look at Gemini. Because it says each step 1 at a time, it followed that more literally than the others. And sometimes actually that's exactly what we want. So let's say continue. So that is a different mechanics that it has. And I think you're going to have hit or miss with any one of the large language models. Okay, let's do on, yeah, so continue. This one we had to, so that whether that's a pro or a con, depending on the situation. I don't think I'll ding Gemini. If anything, it followed the instructions better. And Gemini does a great job at being nice and good presentation. And then here's ChatGPT 3.5, which is faster than 4. Yeah, very, very fast. And then we see 5 items that follow in order. All items are unique in the list. Great. And we can see what oven, saucepan, whisk, measuring cups. Yep. So all of them did a good, honorable job on that with a little bit of variance. We did see that duplicate step 2 got used one of the times on Sonnet. So, okay, let's do something else kind of similar in concept. Let's create a chart that compares 3 key factors of the following 5 programming languages. So we'll pick 5 languages and let it compare them. So again, we'll watch for speed. Sonnet is very fast. I'm not representing them really well in that this doesn't give us a pretty UI that if we were using the other one would have. And so again, we're kind of in the workbench. So it's not fully fair to them, but we'll assume that they give us a really nice view. And so it picked 3 things: paradigm, typing, and primary use case. Interesting. And it gives us this in a lot of words. So imperative, functional, so a few things here. Typing, static, and dynamic, that's interesting. And primary use case. Okay, yeah. It's interesting. So that's an example of what Sonnet will give us there. Let's try Opus, Claude Opus. And a little bit slower, to be expected, that's what they say. And they're doing typing execution. So we do have compiled and interpreted. You have one outlier of the 3, Python, the rest are compiled. Primary use cases, and you give some examples on the typing, static or dynamic. And then they explain it with a little bit of, so definitely a different response. I mean, that's the thing we have, generative AI. You don't know exactly what response you're going to get for each, but, let's zoom back in. And let's try this now in GPT-4. So it's picking 3 things: syntax simplicity, performance, and the ecosystem and community support. Okay, pretty interesting set. And I'm not going to wait for it. Let's come back to it in a second. Let's try Gemini, and let's try GPT 3.5. So nice table format. We see this is kind of nice because you have a little bit of a ranking. I kind of like that. I mean, I don't know if you can say it's better or not. It's just different. But syntax simplicity, so moderate, high, I like that a lot actually. If I was to ask for 3, I'd probably say this would be a nice way to visualize the languages here. Performance and ecosystem community support. Interesting. So, yep, and Dart is the outlier on that one. So, and it gives us a bit more description there. Gemini, again, very pretty interface, does a good job. This is nice too, very well. And so popularity. And you can see there, so Python being the leader in popularity, ease of learning, primary use case. So I hope it helps. It didn't give it the extra verbiage. Whether good or bad, it's subjective. And here's 3.5. Gives us a table that's more wordy. Actually, this is interesting. It pivoted it the other way. Factor has it this way versus this way here. And it's more of a text-based syntax application and community. So different ways to do it. I don't know if I would, I'm not trying necessarily to give an answer as to which is better at the end. This is a little bit just free form. Let's try it out. Let's do one last one, and that is images. So let's try, see if I still have this handy. Yeah, so I have an image here which has some desserts, some tarts of some sort, and I counted there's 18. I guess what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract our 2 whole, so 18. Let's see how they can do. Let's count it and let's add it. Have it tell us what's on these top 4, and see how it does. So we'll zoom in so we can compare later on. And let's copy that. And we'll do ChatGPT first, just because, oh, and let's see, I do have some wording that we can use to do both of those two things. So count the number of desserts in the image and list the ingredients of the first 4. And let's ask it to be organized in what it does. Okay. I'll first identify the number, then I'll list it, so it's telling us what it's going to do. And without tasting or knowing the exact, okay, so it has a disclaimer. That's fun. I'll let it work away, and we're going to come back to that. Let's do the same here. And here on my other screen, I'm just able to select that from the picker. I could have dragged and dropped it too, but I'll do it this way. And let's do the same here also. We will add, it's hidden behind here. I can't add, so let me just go and recopy that. And, oh, you know what? Sorry. I cannot do that in GPT 3.5 anyways. That plus here was not related to that. GPT 3.5 doesn't have image processing at this point, or it never will. And okay, so while those two, they're pretty well done, but let's go ahead and let's do it here. Again, we're not being completely fair because the interface doesn't let us drag and drop an image, but I will do it this way instead. I can select one that I already saved on my computer, and let's go back to this description here. So let's run it, and again, because I want to see performance, we'll hang out here and see how long it takes. Shows an assortment of small fruit tarts or tartlets that appear to be around 16 to 18. Funny, don't know why it didn't tell us exactly, but it's correct, technically. An organized listing of the ingredients, the first 4 are, and then let's take a look and see how it does. So sliced, one sliced strawberry, doesn't look like strawberry to me, and whipped cream or custard filling. Yeah, I don't know if we call that filling on the outside, but I think that's close, kind of close. So tartlet with yellow fruit, okay, that's correct. Likely pineapple or mango. I don't know if I'd say that. Nope. Blackberries, blueberries, edible flowers. So cherry, I noticed that I don't see cherries being correctly detected often. Edible flowers, and I don't see a blueberry on number 2 either. So it seems like it's mixing it up. Number 3, tartlet with, so kiwi slice is correct, but raspberry I see in the 4th one is crisscrossing again, or a strawberry, which is a strawberry here, interesting. Blackberry, I don't see a blackberry on these ones, edible flowers. And the 4th one is strawberry, which we do see a strawberry in the 5th one, so again, it might be staggered. Blackberries is correct, whipping cream or custard filling. So it might be kind of right, but it's staggered there. So that's interesting. So this is Sonnet, the one that you can do a certain amount of queries for free, the middle of the line one. Let's try now on our Powerhouse. And let's go here, add this, and let's see if I still have that description on my clipboard. I do. We'll run it. Again, let's wait to see how fast it is. So 16 small dessert tarts, so it's off by 2. And okay, let's bring this up and take a look. So tart shell, great. Cream or custard filling, this looks good. Sliced peaches, that looks accurate. But blackberry, you can see it's jumped across. Small purple flower, it's jumped across. So we got that crisscross issue again. So again, generative AI, it's absolutely amazing, but it's still progressing. So a few months from now, I'm sure we're going to see these being more accurate. We'll see now if ChatGPT or Gemini will do better on that. And so yeah, the second one, tart shell, cream or custard, raspberries, looks like a blackberry to me, or okay, that's right, but yeah, it's wrong on the raspberries. That's looks like a cherry. Small yellow flower is accurate. And the next one, tart shell, cream or custard filling, blueberries, yep, small flower. Yeah, actually, did it get that one all right? No, we don't have the blueberries, or we have the blueberry and kiwi. It just didn't mention the strawberry. Okay, so that crisscross did not seem to happen on that one. And then number 4, cream or custard, blueberry, and small white flower. I don't know where it got that because I see a green flower, raspberry. So again, it's not perfect, but it is amazing where it was versus a year and a half ago. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Wow. So ChatGPT-4 did something completely different. It is using the code analyzer, which it failed doing. And though tasting or knowing, so it had the disclaimer we saw before. And so it seems there's an error opening the image. Oh, I see. It's complaining about just simply opening the image. Something has gone wrong for it. And so there's a blip it ran into. Let's give it another chance, regenerate. Let's see how Gemini has done. And so, assorted donuts, it did not answer my question on account. Please count the number. And donuts are type, so it gives me a bit of stuff. And since the image is not containing any desserts, I cannot identify the ingredients. Oh, it's struck out by misidentifying and not even counting. So that, well, I see that's also why it didn't count. But interesting, you got a miss there, and we can't do that for 3.5. So let's see if this works better. So we see the image has pulled over. It's an unsplash image. And look at the image and count ingredients. And it is taking longer. Okay. So it's showing it based on the image. Okay, 15 desserts displayed. It is wrong. There should be 18. And let's see how it does. So, okay, that's cool. I like how it identified the top left. And so let's see if we can read that as it's going here. So pink whipped cream or frosting, it did well at that. I think that's a pinkish color. Sliced peach or blackberries. I don't know where it got that from. And I don't see the yellow flower in here either. That's over in the second one. So even though it identified it as the top left, it crisscrossed there. Top center, interesting. So it gives a little bit of a hint on what it's doing. But cookie or tart, light whipped cream, blackberries, blueberries, and a raspberry. Blackberry, blueberry, and I guess this is what they always try to use as a raspberry. So, yep. And then the second row, second left, we see whipped cream, strawberry, blackberry, possibly raspberry, small green leaves, possibly mint. So, yeah, they're actually all of them are very comparable to each other. None of them got it perfect, and they all had miscellaneous issues there. So, okay, that gets us a little bit of insight anyways. They're all going to stand up well for your general day-to-day usage, and which, again, you have to get used to a certain amount of misses, but still for inspiration, for progress, for learning, for double-checking code, for marketing. There's so many things working on. I didn't get into language, how well it handles our language and stuff like that. So I had one more question I meant to ask too. I think it's another useful one. So let me just ask one more if you're curious. And that is this. Tell a joke with exactly 100 characters. Because generative AI, because of the way it works, doing 100 characters is kind of a hard thing for it to do. So let's try that and see how close we get and how much it makes things up. So, okay, why can't a bicycle stand up by itself? It's too tired. So that's funny. And exactly 100 characters, including spaces and punctuation. So it's claiming that it is fully accurate. So let's give it a try. I'm going to drop this in Notepad++. This is 55 characters. So it claims, I asked for 100, it gave one that was 55, and it promises me that it's exactly 100. So it is wrong. That's Sonnet. This is par for the course. We'll see how the other ones compare. So now let's try Opus and give it a try here. Oh, sorry, I pasted that wrong. Let's try one more time. And that's not what I want either. So tell a joke exactly 100 characters. Okay. Okay, I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised. Okay. So let's see how close that is to 100. That's 75. So we are off again. Again, that's generative AI. It tries its best. Let's see if the other players can do better at that. Oops, that's not what. Let's see how it responds since I saw that. It's a classic bit of humor. Yep, and it's dissecting that for us. That's fun. Okay, so let's tell a joke bring this back into my clipboard, exactly 100 characters. And see how it does. Why don't eggs tell jokes? They crack each other up. Okay, let's see how that does. And 55, it did not do it. Now what's interesting is I've tried this with ChatGPT before, and what it will do sometimes is then it will run the code analyzer and check if it's 100. If it's not, it'll tweak it and try 3 or 4 or 5 times. After about 5 times, it gives up. So let's just try one more. The wrong thing on my clipboard. Why did I do that? Okay, so let's try one more time. And let's see if it does it different this time. But anyways, we were trying to look at Anthropic or Claude. And yeah, see, there you go. This is kind of interesting how ChatGPT sometimes will check with the code analyzer and see. So see, it sees the 64, so now it's going to adjust. Let's see how it does. Yeah, so it says, oh, no, it actually wasn't. Let's try again. And so it's trying something that it feels is going to be longer. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. Okay. Oh, it's trying a few different ones. Interesting. So that's a wild attempt. So it's creating a few jokes, and it's going to see which one is the closest and take it from there. So I haven't seen the other ones do that, but it's actually, that was probably not fair because I'm working directly against the LLM in the workspace there, workbench. So hard to know. They might do better in the chat. So let's just quickly do this here too. In Gemini, I'm curious, and ChatGPT 3.5, and why the Scarecrow win an award. So it claims that it's 99. And let's do that, get rid of my final space. It's not, it's 76. So these guys are all making stuff up. And let's try here. Oh, did I get the exact same, or did I not copy that right? Yeah, they gave us the exact same joke, Gemini and GPT 3.5. That's fun. So this is interesting. GPT-4 is still working really hard to achieve that goal for us. It's taken much, much longer. But it's using code, it's giving us input to the code, and it's even admitting that it's a challenge. So, and okay, well, we got the idea. It's trying hard. Let me show you one last thing before I sign off, and that is the billing on how that works. So, and I'll just show it briefly. So if I go into my account now, and I can go into plans and billing, and I have a remaining balance. I started with $5, so I've spent, what's that, 59 cents in the testing I've done. I've done a few dozen queries, and if I go to, a few things I can do is usage, and I can see my usage today. I don't know if I can drill in to the day. I haven't played with this too much to know what I can do, but you can see I've used, 4,000 input tokens and just about 6,000 output tokens on, oh cool, and it breaks it down of the OPIX versus Sonnet. And this might be a little bit delayed actually. So maybe I used a little bit more, but seems like I'm fine. So if you wanted to try it out, kick the tires, and if they do give you that $5 credit for free, then you would have an opportunity to do this and see for yourself how they compare with each other. But all the best. I know this wasn't fully scientific, but hopefully it gives a little bit of insight into some of these big players and how Claude is now coming back in and hopefully competing, so we have some competition there at the top of the class. We'll see how it goes.